Hey everybody, welcome back to the American Sumo Companion. I'm Kevin. I'm here with Garret and Angus.
I'm here.
And we're here to...
I'm Angus.
Yes, this is Angus, everybody. And we're here to help you learn about sumo wrestling. We've brought you on kind of we started right during the middle of a tournament, a basho, as they say. We wanted to take a minute this episode and really get down to how sumo works, right? So we've alluded to a few things so far. We've talked about different ranks in the sumo world. Specifically, which is the highest rank, Garret?
Yokozuna.
Yeah, good job, Garret. That would be the highest rank in the sumo world. And as we know, there's only usually ever about one or two at a time, though there have been three for the past decade or so. One just retired. The end of the basho, or the tournament, means another month and a half before the next one. Before I get too rambly, let's get back into what are the basic rules of sumo wrestling. It's, as far as basic rules go, we've got two really basic ones.
Do not karate chop your opponent in the throat.
Actually, I think that's pretty legal as long as your hand is not closed. So
Okay, so karate chops are okay.
well, I don't know, Angus.
I've never seen anybody do a chop. I don't know if it's like technically not okay or okay.
That's funny because there are some things that are illegal strikes or throws or moves. Two very, very, very basic rules of sumo wrestling. If anything besides the bottom of your foot touches the ground, you're out. You lose the match. And if you step out of the ring, you can push against the side of the ring because it's kind of
Moundy.
Yeah, there's a little bit of height to the bales that they put around to form the ring, and you can push against them. But if you step out of them, then you are out.
But like out off of them onto the flat ground on the other side, because I've seen people
Yeah,
really,
it has to touch the
really
ground.
ride that.
Outside of the bales.
I've seen Enho really work that bale.
The bales are really fun. It's like a bale of rice is not at all like a bale of hay, where they don't like wrap the rice up with a string. Like they do, but there's like a material around it. So they put it in, it's almost like a bag. Mm-hmm. And then they bury that bag halfway into the ground. So if you're wondering like, wait, how is that supporting the weight of that guy? Well, I mean, it's mostly the ground he's pushing against,
Yeah.
if we're talking physics.
But dry rice is also pretty good. I mean, have you ever used like a rice pack or something? It's got some heft and got some strength to it.
It does. Not 400 pounds of sumo wrestler.
Right. But yes, you are correct.
Because, yeah, I think rice versus sumo wrestler will always win.
I think sumo wrestler definitely has a distinct
I'm
advantage.
95% sure.
Yes. So those are the two basic rules. Don't touch the ground with anything but the bottom of your feet, and don't step out of the ring. As we mentioned before, there are a couple of other rules, like a couple of illegal maneuvers or strikes or throws. For example, I know you can't just I don't know if any of you played Street Fighter, but there is a guy in Street Fighter. His name is Piston Honda or E Honda. He does this move where he kind of goes completely horizontal in the air and headbutts. That's illegal.
Levitation is illegal in sumo.
Well, not levitation, but doing a
levitating headbutt.
I believe so. Well, now you've got me second guessing myself.
So no.
I've seen attack before.
Wait, really?
Not in sumo, in Street Fighter.
Oh,
I watched a dude levitate and then fly forward headbutt style.
kicking is not allowed. Grabbing below the waist is not allowed.
I think it's important to clarify that you can use your feet, though.
Yeah, you can use your feet. Like, you can use your feet to, like, sweep or kick. Like, that's some of the really cool stuff you see. That's how a lot of the more technical throws are done. But you can't, like, kick them like in kickboxing kind of thing. You can grab the mawashi, which is, Garrett?
It is the belt that they wear
Yeah.
that covers their entire
Area. Yes.
waist area.
No, it is their. Actually, this is funny. After our last episode, I went and I showed. I watched sumo wrestling with my family because the tournament was ending. I wanted them to see like the last couple of days, and my mom didn't know what to call the mawashi, and I tried to tell her the word. It doesn't matter. You know how people are, but she kept calling it a jersey, which I thought was really funny.
A jersey?
It's like, oh, the guy in the red jersey.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, not a typical jersey wear, but you know what? If it works, it works.
It is an article of clothing that distinguishes you from the other team, so I'll take it.
It's true. It's true. Sumo has a distinct leg up on that in that you like get to see their face, and also there are only two of them. So that also helps to know who people are.
So the jersey doesn't need to be particularly flashy.
Right. We're not gonna see a yellow and blue Lakers mawashi out there anytime soon.
Yellow and purple. You mean purple and gold. Sorry, I'm from Los Angeles, and that's my team.
I mean, if you want to choose that, we're not talking about this right now. This is sumo time.
If you want to choose the sports team that plays in the city you're from, then yeah, by all means, go ahead. Another thing that's illegal in sumo wrestling is pulling the hair, the top knot. It's against the rules.
Yeah, sometimes wrestlers will get their hands stuck in their opponent's top knot by accident, and
Oh no!
They just get disqualified, which is a bummer.
That sounds slightly reminiscent of like in middle school when you kiss a girl and you both have braces and they get like somebody's rubber band gets caught on something. Anyway, sorry, that never happened to me. Nope.
Sounds like someone remembers something.
Oh, here's another thing. You can't have excessive wide arc slapping, if that makes sense. Like you can slap someone, but it's thrusting is mostly what you're going for. A minute you get like a 90-degree arc into your slap, that's illegal. Though it looks like that's the kind of thing that the referee or the gyoji, which is what the referee is called, it will be up to his discretion whether or not it was like 90 degrees or not quite. Thrusting at the throat is legal, but grabbing the throat and choking them is not legal.
I am grateful for that because in my upcoming sumo career, I do not want to be choke slammed by a man who weighs 160 pounds more than I do.
100, that's it? I mean, some of these guys are 430.
I mean, I'll work my way up and I will exercise and I will gain that weight as well. So
Okay, let me know when you reach 300 pounds then, Garrett.
only 160 to go.
A lot of times they'll get in these bear hug kind of muscling around matches where both wrestlers have their arms around one another in a not so gentle embrace. But you can't interlock your fingers around the other guy's back. That's actually illegal too. That was something I wasn't aware of. So we've talked a lot about ranks so far, and I feel like we should really revisit that and talk about it.
Wait. There's more rules.
Okay, Angus, tell us more about these rules.
Important rules, Kevin.
Okay, I may have glossed over some very important things, so
Yeah.
this is Angus's job.
Angus has stepped up.
At the beginning of a sumo wrestling match,
Oh yeah.
they come together at the middle of the ring, right? They have what's called a tachiai, which literally translates to stand and meet. But the tachiai have to be correct for the match to begin. Like that's why you'll see the referee stop the match sometimes during a day of tournament. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Is the tachiai before before they like put their fists on the ground, or is that what?
When they put their fists on the ground is the tachiai.
Okay, yeah.
Both fists of both wrestlers have to touch the ground before the match can begin, and sometimes it can be tough to get that timing right, so they'll do that over and over until they can both get it right, or the referee judges that it's been done right.
Wait, okay, so that brings up an interesting question for me, because I've seen a lot of things where it's just kind of they put their fists down, but they don't actually touch the ground all the way. Am I crazy?
Sometimes the ref might not catch it, but they're technically supposed to touch the ground.
Yeah, from what I understand in the tachiai, there is their breathing needs to be in sync as well. That's something that I heard when I was learning about gyoji and their responsibilities of what they judge and stuff.
Something that I noticed is that sometimes you get the illusion of the knuckles or the fist not being on the ground because rather than being in an aggressive forward stance, sometimes they're a little bit further back waiting for their opponent to come to them. From my angle, it looks like they may not be as close to the ground, but they may still be touching.
Yeah, it's a really fun thing about the sumo is right from the get-go, they need to be very well balanced, because a lot of times they'll both go full tilt into each other, but sometimes they won't, and one guy will, like Garret said, hold off and wait for the other guy to go full tilt into him and then use all that momentum, just push him out of the ring, which is what happened a lot in this last tournament, and it's honestly why it was not the most exciting tournament.
It was a dodgy.
Oh boy.
That was a great joke.
Boo.
I mean, it's also not inaccurate.
Aside from the tachiai, Angus, was there, or unless you had something else to add there?
I don't know if this qualifies as I guess this isn't a rule, but it's more about the gyoji and his job. Sometimes he'll call a match wrong, or it's debatable whether his call was right or not. So they'll have what's called a monoi by the four outer judges outside that are sitting outside the ring. And they'll come together.
One on each side of the ring.
Yeah. So they'll come together and talk about the gyoji's verdict to decide whether it was correct or not, or whether if it was a tie. And then if it was a tie, they'll redo the match.
Yeah.
And they can also agree with the gyoji or overrule the gyoji's decision.
What if, okay, so we talked about sumo wrestling ranks, but there's also ranks within the gyoji, or the referees, and you could tell by, if they're wearing sandals or just socks, or, the cloth that their robes are made of, and the highest ranking gyoji wear a purple knot. And only they are allowed to judge matches that a yokozuna is playing in. Do they get outranked by these other... I mean, I'm sure... They talk about it together, but these gyoji on the outside.
They're the four outside are not are not gyoji.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say that the gyoji decide who's right by a smaller, more exclusive sumo wrestling where the gyoji wrestle each other. But I have realized that is incorrect.
Okay. Yeah, they don't do that. Oh.
That would be a fun turn, though.
Yeah, it's just the secret, cage match, not cage match.
A cage match in sumo would be messy.
I think it has a lot to do with seniority and how long you've been doing it and how good you're at it. Good you are at it. So what we see in the Grand Sumo Tournament, or the Han Basho, is the top 5 ranks, right? And these top 5 ranks together, this group of professional sumo wrestlers, is called Makuuchi. And within these ranks, there is, as we've mentioned before, Yokozuna, top dog. And they are Yokozuna, and they stay Yokozuna until they retire. So that's, once you make it there, you've got it made. And this is another important thing about Makuuchi. Garret, do you know what the word is we use for professional sumo wrestler? If you know it at home, comment or something. I don't know.
Call in.
Call in.
If you know, call in. Remind me, because I have drawn a blank.
Oh,
Phone
shoot.
a friend.
Phone a friend.
Angus. What is the name of sumo wrestlers in Japanese?
It's rikishi.
Rikishi. Nice. Got it in one.
So the rikishi that are in the makuuchi are salaried, so they get paid, and they are on a salary and stuff. Oh right, even the juryo are salaried. Not as much though. Yeah, so there's yokozuna who's on top. The second rank is ozeki, and it's nice to be an ozeki. We mentioned before because you can lose twice without ranking back down, or get to kachikoshis. Sorry, makekoshi. Here's a new vocabulary word. Garrett's looking at me funny. If you get more wins than losses in a sumo, in a basho, in a tournament, that's called a kachikoshi.
Oh, kachikoshi. I knew I had heard that word when we were watching, not this last tournament, but the tournament before, where the commentator's like, and he got a kachikoshi. And I was like, nice, sounds comfortable.
Nice. Glad you got the kachikoshi.
I hope it's warm.
Yeah, he caught a koshi.
Is that a light type, or is that a
No. Kachikoshi. More wins than losses in a tournament, and that would mean a makekoshi.
More losses than wins?
Good job. Okay, yeah. So when you're an ozeki, you can get 2 makekoshis without ranking back down to the third rank, which is sekiwake. But yeah, there's sekiwake, and then they're above the komusubi, who are so yokozuna, ozeki, sekiwake, komusubi, which are the 4th highest rank, and then maegashira. And the maegashira, Garrett, you're looking at me funny.
No, I'm just like, don't mess up, Kevin.
Okay. So I hope that's easy to follow. I mean, if you ever get lost, you can look it up, but it's just nice to know what these things mean when you're watching guys go against each other, because just because somebody's smaller than someone else doesn't mean that they're the underdog. So you got to look at those ranks, and you can see what's on the line for some of these guys.
We should run through those one more time.
Do you want to try it, Garrett?
I can get the first 3.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Yokozuna.
Right.
Ozeki.
Right.
Sekiwake.
Right. Komusubi.
Maegashira.
Anyway, so this is Maegashira. Angus, I feel like you might be better at explaining why we call the Maegashira like rank and filers. Like they do within Maegashira, there are different ranks. Like you could be Maegashira number 1, number 2, number 3.
Yeah, all the way down to like I've seen like 17. I feel like, but I don't know if I'm just remembering something wrong. Like usually the lowest is 16, but it just depends on how many like higher ranking wrestlers are in like the top ranks of komusubi, sekiwake, ozeki, and yokozuna. Because then like the rest of the tournament, like in the tournament, get filled up with maegashira, and they get assigned numbers until like as low as they can go. So it just depends on how many high ranking wrestlers there are.
Yeah, well that makes sense. So these Maegashira, they actually, like, it seems like they're the underdogs, but you have to remember this is the Grand Sumo tournament, and all of these guys are salaried. And the Maegashira make like $150,000 a year, and the Yokozuna makes like 300 something.
And this is
dollars.
This is American dollars, not in yen.
Yeah.
If that were yen, that actually would not be that much. But
it would not be a living wage.
No, it would not. You could not survive off that. That's why you live in a stable. It's like a scholarship. You live on their dime.
Right.
But no, you get salaried, which would be nice because you can have a living, and then when you retire, you have not only that, but you have some savings or what have you.
Well, I think on top of the salary that they get, that's another fun thing to know about sumo wrestling. Here's your fun fact of the day. Before each sumo wrestling match...
Wait, do we do that before the fun fact?
No, but we can start. By the way, I'm not editing this out.
Amazing. Yes.
But okay, before each sumo wrestling match in the grand tournament, there will be guys with like advertisements on scrolls, and they will go and they will show the advertisement out to the whole stadium, and they'll like walk around the ring and show everyone the advertisement. Somebody pays for the advertisement, right? The money goes to the winner of the advertisement.
Oh, is that the thing that they hand over at the end of the match?
Yeah. And
there sometimes on some of these matches, there's an envelope that like these big men with very big hands have a hard time fitting their hands around.
I actually didn't think about that.
That must be an incredible amount of money.
I don't know how much it gets, but I think that's on top of their salary.
If they're all in ones, my
it's on
condolences.
top. When I was a kid, it was $300 in each envelope.
Wow.
Or like each advertisement cost $300. And like sometimes they'll get like these huge stacks, and that could be like several $1,000s right there.
Yeah. So that's an incentive to win. When you see at the end of a sumo match, the winner will squat down and the gyoji will shout his name all long and drawn out like he does, and then he'll hand him a fat stack of $300 envelopes, and he takes it because he won and he deserves it. Yeah, and so do you, the listener. Thank you so much for listening. This has been yet another episode of The American Sumo Companion.